Hi, it's Penny here, and today we're going to be talking UK book covers versus US book covers. So I've seen a couple of videos lately, which I will do my best to link down below, comparing UK covers and US covers and thinking about which ones are the best. And I was thinking about this, and in New Zealand, I've always said that we get a mix of UK and US covers, but I realized that I don't know what that belief is based on. Like, I think maybe I just made that up, and I almost think it might make more sense that we only get books from like the UK because we're part of the Commonwealth and all that nonsense. So I decided I better check my beliefs and work out which is true, at the same time as maybe having a look at some UK versus US covers and seeing which ones are prettier, and seeing whether New Zealand got the prettier ones or not. So what I did is I went down the road to the mall and I went to the 3 different bookshops that are there. I did plan to pick out 2 pretty books and 2 ugly books from each store, but then I got distracted by pretty books and books that I like. So that's what we're doing. 4 books from each store. Firstly, I went to Paper Plus, and the first one I picked was this edition of Recursion by Blake Crouch. So in this book, people start getting false memory syndrome, where they start remembering different lives from the one they've had, and it gets very twisty in regards to time. So let me see if I can work out whether this is the UK edition or the US edition. Okay, so it looks like New Zealand got the UK edition here, and the US edition is that pretty yellow one that I've seen quite a lot, and I have to be honest, I prefer the pretty yellow one because it's just much brighter. Then next I picked My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell, mainly because I thought this looked pretty, and I have heard about this book. It's about a girl who had an inappropriate relationship with her professor when she was younger, and then now that he's been accused of more sexual abuse, she's starting to question her relationship with him. So let's look and see where this cover came from. Okay, so once again it looks like New Zealand got the UK edition. And in this case, I think we got the prettier edition. I think the colours are just really nice, the way her hair is hanging down over the words. I guess you can maybe say that the US edition is perhaps more representative of the topic, but I still prefer the UK edition. Next, I picked He Started It by Samantha Downing. I hadn't really heard about this one, but I thought the cover looked pretty cool. Apparently this is a thriller about a wealthy grandfather who dies, and then the grandchildren have to come together after not having seen each other for a long time to try and secure their inheritance. And once again, it looks like New Zealand got the UK cover, and in this case I think the UK cover is prettier. Again, it's got much brighter colours on it, and it's quite mysterious. The US cover kind of looks a bit generic, and I guess she's carrying that spade and there's like fire in the background, so it's making it seem like maybe she's going to be burying someone in the desert or something. But I just think the UK cover looks cooler. Then I picked The Institute by Stephen King, mainly because it was one I'd heard of, and actually I knew I'd seen a different cover on the internet. I don't know much about The Institute other than just that it's a Stephen King novel, and that's all I want to know. So let's check where this blue cover comes from. I think it's going to be the UK. Yes, the blue cover is the UK. Do you know, on first glance, I thought I liked the blue cover better because like it's quite bright and I don't know, the style's kind of cool, but when I look more closely at the US cover, which is quite dark, but when you look quite closely, it's like this little room on the back of a train, and there's that glow behind the train, and Stephen King's name is all kind of gold. I don't know, actually I think maybe I like the US one better in this case, but they're both pretty good. Okay, so far, all of Paper Plus's books came from the UK, but I liked half the UK covers better and half the US covers better. So let's move on to the next store. So the next store across the other side of the mall is Whitcoull's, and the first book I picked purely because I thought the cover looked cool, and that is Hex by Rebecca Dinerstein Knight. So I don't know exactly what Hex is about, but it looks like it's some kind of contemporary, except that the people involved are studying poisonous plants. It lists it under gay and lesbian literary fiction, humorous literary fiction, and plant sciences. So let's have a look. Where did this cover come from? Okay, once again, New Zealand got the UK cover, and I think I like the UK one better. It is very orange, and to be honest, orange is one of my least favorite colors, But the other one, even though it's got some nice flowers on it and I quite like that green, it just kind of looks messy and I'm not a fan. Then I picked another one just because I liked the cover, and that is the Rearranged Life of Oona Lockhart by Margarita Montemore. So it looks like this is the story of a woman who lives her life out of order. So on her 19th birthday, she suddenly finds herself 51, and then every other birthday she ends up a different age. Who knows which order? So the US book is actually called Oona Out of Order. It's got a completely different name. So once again, New Zealand got the UK cover. Getting quite repetitive. But I definitely like the UK cover much better. Better colours, better concept. The US cover just kind of looks badly put together, to be honest. Okay, then I picked Nevernight by Jay Kristoff because I think these covers are absolutely beautiful, although I do prefer the very initial ones that had like the bright yellow suns on them as well. So I'm pretty sure I know what these are. If you don't know what Nevernight is, it is the story of a girl named Mia who decides to avenge her parents' death and train to be an assassin. And it gets very bloody. So once again, New Zealand got the UK cover, and once again we're lucky because the UK cover much prettier. I mean, I can see where they were going with the US covers, but they're kind of ugly. Just nothing compared to the UK ones. And I think maybe they even started using the UK covers in the US. I'm not sure. And then lastly, I picked Fool's Assassin by Robin Hobb. I've been loving the Realm of the Elderlings lately. It's this magical series about this bastard son of the king in waiting who becomes an assassin, but there's also really cool like telepathic magic and all sorts of political intrigue and dragons. It's an amazing series. I really love it. Although I haven't read this particular book yet. So let's see where this edition came from. I'm sure you can guess. It came from the UK. And I don't know, I feel like this might be a slightly unpopular opinion, but I prefer the US covers for these. I know there are some other styles of covers around, which I'm not exactly sure where they come from, but I really prefer the ones with the art on them. I just feel like it captures the feeling of the books and like it's more character focused. A lot of the other covers are like dragon focused, or like this UK one. There's not really anything on the cover at all. And because the Realm of the Elderling books are just so character based, like there's a lot going on, but a lot of it is just about learning about these characters and becoming very attached to them. So I like the US covers better because I think they represent that aspect better. Okay, so UK covers are still winning in terms of that's where the books have come from, and they're also still winning in terms of prettiness. But we have had a few US ones that have been prettier. So then I went to the last store in the mall that sells books, and that is The Warehouse, which is like our budget department store. And the first book I picked is Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. So this is the sequel to Skyward, which is Brandon Sanderson's YA science fiction series about this girl named Spencer who is trying to become a pilot in this world where humans are trapped by the aliens living underground on this planet. I think I know where this edition comes from. And I remember when I first saw the US cover of Skyward, I actually thought it was really beautiful until I saw the UK cover, and then I thought that was much better. And I think I feel the same way about the sequel covers. Like, I like the US covers, but the UK covers are just art. So the UK covers win. Then I picked this random book called Tiger Heart by Penny Chrimes? Chrimes? I don't know how to say that. I've never heard of this, but I like tigers. Okay, so interestingly, this looks like it's only a UK book. So it was from the UK. But also, it looks like it's a children's book, and it was not in the children's section in the shop. Or was it? I don't think so. I mean, those books on either side of it on the shelf don't look like children's books. Maybe I'll go back to the shop and check. But I can't compare this against a US edition because there is no US edition. So UK wins by default. Oh, and you can tell this is a story about a chimney sweep who becomes friends with a tiger, as you do. Then I picked Five Dark Fates by Kendare Blake, which is the final book in the Three Dark Crowns series. So this is the story about three queens living on this witchy island who need to fight to the death to see which one of them is going to take the throne. So let's see where this edition came from. Oh, what a surprise! It came from the UK. And you know what? I don't really like either of these covers. I mean, I do like the way the UK cover has some really bright green on it, but I feel like that snake just looks kind of dumb. I do think the US cover probably captures the dark energy of this story more accurately, but the cover's kind of boring. I think if I was going to pick one to own, I would probably pick the one with the bright green on it. And some of the other books in this series, I prefer the UK cover as well, so I'd probably go with the UK ones, but it's not a strong winner. Okay, then lastly, I picked The King of Crows by Libba Bray. This is another final book in the series, the 4th book in the Diviners series, which is a paranormal mystery where you have all these different people with different supernatural powers trying to take down the King of Crows, who has been killing people and has an army of ghosts. Okay, so this edition is not technically the UK or the US cover. It is a cover by Ellen and Unwin, who are primarily based in Australia, although they have a New Zealand office, and they do also have a UK office. So I guess it's closer to being the UK edition, but I don't think it is the UK edition, if you know what I mean. We'll give it to the UK. Why not? Although I have to say, I prefer the other cover, and the other cover does seem like it's actually the UK cover. I can't find a specific US cover, so either it was only published with one cover or I am bad at researching on the internet. Possibly both of those. Anyway, I guess the summary of this little experiment is that New Zealand does in fact get books from the UK or occasionally from Australia or New Zealand publishers. But I'm not going to complain about that because in most cases I prefer the UK covers. There were a few of the US ones that I liked, but overwhelmingly I prefer the UK covers. So I guess I can be happy with that. So do let me know whether you agree with my preferences between UK and US covers, or did you prefer some more of the US covers? Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you are keeping safe and reading lots of good books, and I will see you next time.